It's a big day, great time to be alive. Joining us right now, two-time Super Bowl champion, youngest coach to ever do so, ladies and gentlemen, the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Coach Mike Tomlin.
Yeah! Oh, man, Pat, it's an honor to be on with you, man. Thanks for having me.
No, the honor is all mine. I am so thankful. I know you're not normally into doing stuff like this, so I can't thank you for taking time out of your beautiful Thursday and chit-chatting with us. Let's get right into it. You're a legend. Thank you for putting me through my workout and having the scouts actually come watch me kick at West Virginia. I don't think I've ever fully thanked you for that moment, Coach.
No, man. I've drank the McAfee Kool-Aid for a long time. And so it's cool to be on here, man. It's cool to watch you transition in life, man, and the success you're having with this, man. I'm honored to be here.
Okay, well, let's get right to it. I am thankful that you have done everything for me that you've done, and saying those nice things is obviously nice. And A.J. Hawk over there, he tries to tear down the program every single goddamn day, Coach. So hopefully you won't do that now. Let's get to it. The quote that I was most interested about from you is talking to the rookies, because you had, I think, the second most amount of rookies starting this past weekend. I believe the Jets and some other team, and you guys were the only one to win. And you were talking about the experience in college football versus in the NFL, and how college has loud environments, but in the NFL, it is different. What is the place that you think made you realize, like, hey, being in the NFL is different than college, because these fans are vicious. These fans are mean. They're rooting against you as opposed to in college when they're rooting for you. What really made you feel like that, and how long have you been describing the fans to rookies that way?
You know, really it's rather recent for me. I have two boys that are playing college football. My oldest boy at the University of Maryland, my youngest boy at Columbia. And so very rarely do I get a chance to watch ball as a spectator. But I have, you know, being a dad and supporting them. And that's really the first time it struck me. A college environment, although you go to Penn State, you're playing in front of 100,000+, man, they come to root for Penn State as opposed to rooting against Maryland, you know?
Yeah.
You step into Baltimore to play the Ravens, man, they're rooting against you. It's a different feel. And really just, you know, supporting my kids and going to games as a dad, it struck me. So it's more recent. I haven't been saying that for a long time. It was funny. I was talking to Pat, our rookie tight end from Penn State, man, and he felt it in Buffalo on Sunday, and he confirmed it. He was like, Coach, just the general attitude as the buses ride up is a little bit different.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hey, Coach, this year with fans back in the stands, obviously we're only through 1 week. Like, did you have to, like, I guess, warn some of your young guys maybe that played last year without a crowd? Okay, this is going to be a little bit different?
There's no question, man. You know, there's some guys that's played significant ball around here for us, like Chase Claypool. You know, that was the first time he's ever been in a really hostile environment. And so it was new for him as well. And he's probably the second-year guy that I probably spent more time talking to about it than others. More than anything, just as a coach, man, when you're leaning on young guys, you help them perform to expectations by preparing them for some of the adversity and stuff that the environment presents. And we knew going into Buffalo what we were getting, those of us that's been in this thing for a while.
We'll chit-chat about the offense in a little bit and Chase Claypool as well, because, I mean, he made a massive moss. I mean, that was a hell of a play, and I assume he's only going to continue to do that. But your defense is the topic of conversation, because now, with all the analytical shit that's all over the internet, we learn everything about every decision that you guys make now, and they can paint the narrative however. You guys didn't blitz at all, and Pittsburgh is known as a blitzing defense. I mean, it always has been, always since Lambeau. I mean, it was something you're known for. Is that just because of how good your defensive line is? Is this something that you obviously can't give anything away, but Is that why you made that decision? And do you think that affected Josh Allen and the boys who had to be expecting pressure all day?
Hey, we embrace that Blitzburg reputation. We try to live it out every Sunday. That's something that we embrace. We don't shy away from that. We want to play attacking defense. But we wanted to win that game as well. And so from time to time, man, we're willing to stray away from our personality, if you will, in an effort to do so. I think that Josh Allen and company probably wanted us to blitz, and so we chose not to.
Go ahead, AJ.
So I guess when you look at your offense and Big Ben and the offseason you had and everything, is he, I guess, throughout camp and through week one, is he where you thought he would be?
He is, man. He's physically in good shape. You know how it is, man. The second year off of an injury, you're really back to yourself. And so, you know, he had an off season, and so he's doing really good physically. But more than that, I think he's just having fun playing football, man. I think he's enjoying the mentorship that comes with his job. You know what I mean? He's looking at 4 young people in that huddle, and others that are new to us. So, I think that's a fun challenge for him. At least, his actions show that they are.
I think a lot of the older guys, they get to the point where, when you're young and you're going to play for a long time, normally that's expected as you come in the league. Then business jades some things. You get a little bit, you're either banged up. And then as you get towards the end, I think you start seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. You start enjoying every meeting, every practice. You stop taking it for granted as you once did. I think that happens with a lot of older guys. But the locker room culture changed completely when I was in the league, from when I was a rookie to when I was done. And I retired after the 2016 season. Now it's even more different, I would assume, from when you came into Pittsburgh and everything like that. The dancing on the logo, the TikTok, everything like that you guys have had to experience. What is your messaging in there? How do you adapt and let players be themselves without, doing too much? Because that is a fine balance that you've been able to do, I think, in an incredible job with throughout your entire time in Pittsburgh.
I think for me, more than anything, I try to stay connected, just getting a sense of where these guys are coming from, what's in vogue for their generation, what captures their attention, how do they learn, how do they communicate, how do they interact with each other formally and informally. And I think being a parent kind of helps me. My boys are 19 and 20, so it's not much difference between them and some of the younger guys that I deal with here. And so for me, it's just about gaining an understanding, working to stay connected. I'm not a big social media guy, but I got involved in Twitter and that stuff a couple of years ago because I just wanted to get a feel for it. I just wanted to know. I just wanted to get a sense what moves them. And so, that's my general attitude, man. It's adapt or die for me. And I don't want to be one of them old crusty guys, man, that just refuses to adapt. Although I am one of those old crusty guys now.
Yeah, you are old as shit now, you know what I mean? I mean, you've been around a long time. I remember back in the day whenever you showed up, there was a lot more, to the camera. There was a lot more.
Yeah,
there was a lot of that. Now you're just old-ass man now, huh?
You know how it is. Years in this business will scar you, man. It'll settle you down.
That is classic. Whenever you talk about like the new generation and you have 4 new guys or 4 young guys at wide receiver, every year it feels like if you guys don't win a Super Bowl with the expectations you have set for yourself, the standard is the standard, right? You guys have done. There's always loud noise around you, the job you're doing, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, it always happens if you guys don't win a Super Bowl. Last year it happened after starting 11-0, early exit to Cleveland. It just, everybody starts talking. You hire from the offense coordinator from within. How hard is it to keep the outside noise out of any decisions and just stay the course? I think you've maybe been the most consistent, and the Steelers have been the most consistent franchise in the NFL. No big sways or anything like that. How do you do that, and how do you not, get to the point where you're like, oh, we need to do this, we need to do this? What is it about the Steelers organization that you guys kind of keep some consistency and don't really go off the rails much?
Just the consistent, steady leadership, man, that we have from the Rooney family. This organization, man, has been under that leadership for generations. And so, they have experience that money can't buy, man. They've grown up in this business, and that steadiness of leadership kind of filters down to all of us, man. I hear the noise, but I don't. It motivates me. It doesn't move me in a negative way. I embrace it in that way, man, because I appreciate the fact that people care. And I try to relay that to our players, man, so that we wear it in the right way and we utilize it as fuel. I think that's the thing here. But make no mistake, all of that is possible because of how steady Art Rooney is in the midst of adversity.
Do you think other people and their fan bases have any idea on how important it is to have that stable front office? Like when I look at the Steelers, you think, hey, first class through and through, top to bottom, it trickles down. Like every job's not made the same. Like I try to tell people that every head coaching gig is different. Like how valuable is it to have a steady front office like that?
Hey, I don't think fans care at all. I just think they want to win. And I appreciate that about fans. That's just our mode of operation. That's our business model. It works for us. We're married to it. We believe in it to the core. And so that's why it's good. But from a fan perspective, man, fans don't care, man. They want to see somebody out there kicking butt, and I like that and respect that, and I'm always sensitive to that.
Big Steeler fan, Nick Moraldo from Plumboro. Where the ballers ball and the players play. Nick, go ahead, pal.
Coach, you talked about consistency, and we heard from Coach Cowher down there at a Hall of Fame game. a legendary Yinzer tale about when he left the position and you took over, he left a can of Iron City in the fridge. Is that can still there? And if it is, and you need a little extra room, I'll be at the game this week. I'll be happy to take it off.
Yeah, well, you drank a beer from Cowher. That's nice.
2 cans of IC Light were left. And, man, what a gesture. You know what I mean? Some of my best friends in college were Pittsburgh boys, Mount Lebanon, Upper St. Clair type guys. And so I know what IC Light is and what that means. And so even not being from here, I really appreciated that. And what a gesture. So I decided that I'd never drink it and I'd leave it for the next man. Now, at the time, I didn't envision that those cans would be 15 years old and still sitting there. And so it's kind of a ceremonial thing now, but those are my intentions, man. What a gesture. I appreciated the support I got from him, man. I've appreciated the support that I've gotten from him over the years, man. It's just a cool, real small fraternity. Pittsburgh Steelers head coaches, man. It's a 2-man deal at this point, man. And I just appreciate my big bro in BC.
Oh, that's awesome. Those beers are going to be terrible. All right. I'm just assuming that whoever you hand those to, if they're a booze hound, they might drink those and puke on their first day on the job. But, I mean, you got to do what you got to do there. And whenever you talk about the fraternity of coaches for the Steelers being small and everybody else hoping to have that, it feels like the Steelers organization, it might be because I'm from Pittsburgh and I see it more, but every time we talk to anybody, whether it's, Kiesel or even Debo got in on the action and conversation where there might have been a couple years where that wasn't the case. It feels like Pittsburgh, the Steelers organization, is like a college. It feels like the OGs, like Ryan Clark, Ike Taylor, and Troy and everybody. Why is that? Is that because of ownership? And how do you continue to build that culture with new players coming in and everything like that in the new generation of the world? It's not like that everywhere at all.
I think it starts with stability. It's easy for those guys to feel welcome, man. The guy that coached them is still sitting here with the whistle around his neck, man. When those guys come to town for weekends or what have you, man, I am glad to see them on a personal level. And I think that aids in the connection. And I think that's what makes it, like a university football team, if you will, man. They're Steelers and Steelers for life. And they come back, man, they're going to see familiar faces, people that are glad to see them. My assistant head coach, man, John Mitchell, has been here since the 90s. It's just a real cool thing, man. It might not be valuable to all, but we see the value in it. It's something that we hang our hat on. I take pride in it. It's funny. You're talking about BC. It was at the Hall of Fame game. He came down on the sideline, and I let him make a couple of defensive calls. and he marveled at the fact that I still named the defenses some of the names that they had when I got here. And I do that out of respect for the tradition that is the Pittsburgh Steelers. When we're bringing both outside linebackers, man, we call it dog rush. And so it doesn't matter if it's Kevin Green and Greg Lloyd. It doesn't matter if it's James Harrison or Lamar Woodley or now today Alex Highsmith and TJ Watt. That's something that they all share. They all love dog rush. They know what dog rush means. And that's just some of the little things that we do here in Pittsburgh, man, to kind of capture the stuff that you can't measure, to have that feel that you speak of.
That's amazing because, by the way, then they can share stories in the room of, we ran this. So, I mean, that is just something that is just, those moments are priceless, One of my favorite moments with you is when you would tell me every warm-up, I'm going to get you back to Pittsburgh when you're old and cheap. What does that mean? What did that mean? And should that have been taken as a smack in the mouth, like whenever you said that to me?
No, man, it was a tip of the cap, man. There's certain guys around this league that I'm really interested in, but I know I cannot afford. And you were one of them. So I was going to wait for you to physically deteriorate a little bit until you came back into my wheelhouse.
Oh, my God. Hey, yeah, go ahead.
One of my favorite moments, man, you hit that pass on us, man, in Indy that day, and you hit the Conor McGregor walk on us, man. That was This is a classic McAfee moment.
Well, and also a classic Tomlin moment as I'm jogging out to kick the kickoff, and I don't know how much Steelers fans or Steelers players are going to like this. I saw you in DHB, Darius Hayward-Bay, walking down the sideline staring at me, and I was like, man, I appreciate that. All right, I appreciate that. Wish you would have let us, maybe get back in the game a little closer so that I can talk about the game more often. We lost by like 70. All right, I mean, that's not great. But I really appreciate everything you've done for me. And there's also another person that's normally with us on a daily basis, and he is the biggest Steelers fan we know. He has to be in a sanctuary in seclusion because he had a couple close contacts, and we can't be losing the fucking roster right now. You know what I mean? Can't have it.
No doubt.
So he recorded a question for you, and I can't wait to hear your answer after it.
Awesome.
Coach T, first and foremost, from me and all Yinzers, I just want to thank you for everything that you've done for Pittsburgh on and off the field for the last 15 years. You have no idea how much happiness that you have brought us, and I can't thank you enough for that. Now, to the question. We love, and we talk about on this show, how much we love when a team takes on the identity of the city. People have said in the past few years or whatever, sometimes the team hasn't had that in Pittsburgh. I disagree. But this year, it definitely seems like that's a thing. The defense was flying around, obviously. The O-line, while they're young, they were playing with a lot of attitude. Freiermuth took someone, bounced them out of the club into the front row. Wide receivers are cracking, putting people on their asses. It was awesome to see. Is that something that you guys ever talk about as a team or as a coaching staff or when you're bringing in players to potentially take on the identity of the city? Because you know that that's winning football, and that's what Pittsburgh loves. I just want to let you know, or see if you had any thoughts on that. Thank you so much for coming on. This one is for Steelworkers. 7's coming home. Thank you.
He was crying this morning, Coach, that he wasn't here for that. He was crying.
I love it.
Yeah.
It is something that we thoughtfully construct in team development. Man, I think it's important. I think it's part of what makes the Steelers who and what we are. And more than anything, forget whether or not we embrace it. It's how we're viewed in the National Football League. And I know that from being a part of other organizations. It doesn't matter what year it is. The week you're playing the Pittsburgh Steelers, everybody in the opposing locker room is walking around saying, oh, it's Steeler week. We're playing the Pittsburgh Steelers. We know what type of game that's going to be. And so it's responsibility from my perspective to prepare our guys for that they understand that their reputation precedes them and the responsibility that comes with being a Pittsburgh Steeler from a reputation standpoint. They're going to get physicality from people that play us. People that play us are going to sell that song all week. And so we can't run away from it. I choose to run to it. I choose to educate our young players. You either wear it like a badge of honor or you wear it like an anvil, and we choose to wear it like a badge of honor and aspire to it. And so I love it. I love being a part of it. It's a beautiful thing. How about the game we got this week, man? Two teams that kind of embrace that mantra, that attitude. We got the Silver and Black Boys coming in here this weekend. And so they're another organization that really embraces the intangible history that they have and the persona that's associated with it, man. I'm excited about competing against those guys.
The Yinzers are going to go bananas in Heinz Field this weekend. First time it could be filled up in a long time. I can't wait to see it. And I can't wait to. Oh, mama, I'm here for my life. I'm the Is that your alarm clock? Yeah, just say yes, by the way. Yeah.
It's my ringtone. It's my alarm clock.
We appreciate you, Coach T. Last question before we let you go. Why'd you let Troy Polamalu do what he fucking did to me? Why'd you let? I know you've heard of this. Why? Well, that's a short side of the field. That's bad football. You guys coaching unsound football over there in Pittsburgh? How did that happen?
Hey, we know you and love you as a man. But on Sundays in the fall, man, you're the nameless gray faces that we.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, never had a losing season, absolute legend, two-time Super Bowl champion, Mike Tomlin.
Yeah!
Thank you, Coach. He's the man. Whistle's still on, by the way. Probably just going on practice field. He was in the middle of something. What a legend. Literally after that, we scored that touchdown against them, and he has his head, his head thing on, a hoodie on, and he's literally staring at me while I'm walking out for the kickoff. And I wasn't looking at him. I was just jogging out, and I could feel like somebody looking at me. I could like feel something, and it was DHB, Darius Hayward-Bay, was yelling at me, and then I looked over, and him and Darius Hayward-Bay both just started doing that, and I laughed. By the way, how confident do they have to be?
Oh yeah.
After the other team scored a touchdown, they're doing that to me. I was like, I think it might be a long day. I was like, Vinny, they fucking did the walk to me and were like, good job. They congratulated me. And I'm like, I don't think that's good news for how tonight's going. I don't know if that's the case, but what a legend that guy, dude. Absolutely legend.
I don't see any other head coach doing that in that situation in a game. So, yeah, that's just he's awesome. Man.
I think he appreciated, though, that I'm like a Pittsburgh kid, obviously. You know what I mean? And him and Bill Stewart, who was my special teams coordinator, tight ends coach, and then became the head coach at West Virginia when Rich Rod left or whatever. Bill Stewart gave Mike Tomlin his first head coaching job at the Virginia Military Institute, maybe? I think so, somewhere. He gave him his first coaching job. So Bill and Mike Tomlin have always been tight. Blaine Stewart now coaching with Mike Tomlin. Blaine Stewart's a guy I've known since I was a kid. So I think Bill Stewart was letting Tomlin know about the human that I was. And I think Mike Tomlin maybe was like, oh, okay. And the first time I ever met him, it was a full dap up. He knew it seemed like he knew everything about me. And he even told me, like, hey, I'm going to run you through this workout today or whatever. Let's do it. I'm like, all right, my dude. And then he said something about something I did in a game one time. I was like, you watch film. That's crazy, man. Because especially being from Pittsburgh. And every time we played them, and we lost to them by a lot, but every time we played them before the game, it was a full, I don't think that happens often. I was very appreciative of it. I've always been very thankful for Mike Tomlin's niceness to me, man. He's cool dude.
Yeah, he gets it. It makes sense that he would seek you out too, but if Zeke can pop up that slide one more time, you show where Polamalu lines up into the boundary, you don't have any kind of check where you could run it to the field. All you need is that wing to just get
I know.
to the end, and it's a touchdown. Can you check to the right?
We didn't have any audibles. We didn't have any call out. We didn't have any
You should
black.
have done on your own. You should have done on your own.
What am I supposed to? Hey, switch.
Other way.
Wait, is that what I'm supposed to do? And by the way, he did that.
No, don't switch them because you don't want the defense to move. You need to take them by surprise and just go get that corner and dive in the end zone.
Hey, right guard tackle or tackle end, whatever it would have been. You get it? They did zero practice while we were practicing. I don't even think they were lined up in a three-point stance while we were practicing this in a game. It was always going to be in this one area. They always do this. Inside the 7, left thing. It's going to be a touchdown. Don't worry about it. And then all of a sudden, fucking hair just right over. And then, I mean, what are you doing, dude? What the fuck is this shit? Nameless gray face. Awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't give it. Hey, we like McAfee. Okay, a lot of his family's here, whatever. Let's take away his dreams tonight.
He ain't scoring on us.
Let's ruin that guy's life tonight. It was